Hello, welcome to my video. It's your host, OT19, or Ultimate Gamer 19,000, and I'm here today to present to you all the brand new 2024 Rogue and how to build it. Before this video starts, make sure to like, comment, and drop kick that subscribe button. And yeah, let's get right into it. So, the brand new Rogue. Now, I did do a video covering the Rogue, check the cards, and honestly, I feel like the Rogue is in a good position. I know some people may disagree with me, and honestly, I'm not gonna say that they're not really valid or that they're unvalid. I just feel like we're looking at the Rogue from different perspectives. When I see this new Rogue, I can clearly tell Wizards wanted the Rogue to now be like your standard utility class in any RPG based game. Like we all know in RPG, there's like a healer, there's like the healer, the tank, the DPS, and like then there's just like the general utility guy. If you need to like pick a lock, here he is. If you need to, I don't know, like paralyze an enemy, he can probably do that. And I do definitely feel like the rogue is now much more that kind of support type of guy, but not the support that's healing, more the support that's just making your allies be good or just overall helping. I feel like that's kind of what the rogue is now. And if we're being honest here, the Rogue received zero nerfs. All of the subclasses got enhanced. The Soul Knife could have got enhanced a little more, and in my home game, the Soul Knife will be different than what is shown. I'll go over that when I go over the subclasses. The new Cunning Strikes are actually really powerful, but I feel a lot of people are kind of now looking at the Rogue and saying they're departing less and less from being this high, like burst damage character and more like utility base. Now, their sneak attack still scales the same. They still don't get extra attack, and every problem most like DPS based people had with the rogues are still here. But if you played a rogue because it had insane utility, because reliable talent was one of the best features in the game, because I don't know, you like being able to do like 20, at least bare minimum, like 20 to 30 damage consistently every single round without spending zero resources, being hidden most of the time, attacking with advantage. If you like all of that about the rogue, it's still there, and now you have even more to play with. So I really do think that this whole new rogue is kind of up to the eyes of the beholder, less than, it just in a general sense. I personally like the rogue because I definitely do like the utility, and sometimes if I'm running like with a small group of players, I like to have a PC that I personally control. I know this may sound bad, but trust me, it's not. Where I usually like a DM player character, where usually it's just a character. He's probably gonna be a little weaker than everyone else. He's just down there to like be another body on the board, maybe do some damage. And if my player wants to, they can, or my players want to, they can take over control of that DMPC and they fully control it. So it's kind of just like this character that I have control over, but so do they, and they can just, it's just an extra body, an extra person, because I don't want them to have to like voice another character or be actively looking at their character sheet. But I don't also want them to have like a party of one person. So I do like to do that. But yeah, overall, I definitely do think this rogue will be a pretty damn amazing like help for your party. I definitely do think if you're a DM that wants to have a friendly NPC to the party that may be a permanent addition, making them a rogue probably might be your best option. They can do solid damage that makes your party think, yo, this guy is crazy. Oh my, I love him. But he can also provide your party with so much utility that they're definitely not going to want to replace him. Now, I've done a lot of yapping for the beginning, but I feel like with the rogue, this is definitely a necessary amount of yapping. And I think let's just get right into it and no more dilly-dallying. Now, the feats. Now, the feats I recommend with the rogue are Defensive Duelist, Mage Slayer, Poisoner, Sentinel, Skill Expert, and Crossbow Expert. So first of all, Defensive Duelist. I mean, if you are a melee-based rogue, which I mean, Nick and Vex are they're weapon masteries, I'll give you that much. If you're a melee-based rogue, then taking Defensive Duelist is just gonna make it's basically giving you the shield spell. And if you're not an Arcane Trickster, even then Arcane Trickster, since you now have so much more spells you can pick from, your spell slots probably are going to be used very often, because now if you don't know, the Arcane Trickster now can pick any spell from the wizard subclass, not just illusion or enchantment, meaning that they're probably going to be rolling through their spell slots way quicker, which is one thing. So maybe if you don't want to be spending all your spell slots as an Arcane Trickster on shield, or maybe you want to absorb it for silvery barbs or absorb elements, you could still do Defensive Duelist, allowing you to basically get a feature that's similar to Shield, a little worse at lower levels, but even better at really high levels. Then Defensive Duelist is a pretty good option. Also, a +1 to Dexterity is always broken. And next we have Mage Layer. Mage Layer basically gives you a way to drop concentration on your enemy spells, which I think it's like Force Cage is now concentration when it used to not be. Force Cage or Roll of Force, one of the really OP wizard spells, they are now concentration, meaning that Mage Slayer being able to impose this advantage on that concentration save is massive. And also having a free legendary resistance, I cannot stress how important this is so damn nice. It's like, yeah, like being able, because also rogue can deal some pretty nice burst damage. So if a rogue gets mind controlled, you probably don't want to keep them up for too long. Or even at then, if a party loses a rogue, especially if they're like a DM NPC or something, or just like a friendly NPC, most likely the party probably won't have another character that can fit the roles. So just being able to say, oh no, he succeeds on this charm that may be really bad can be pretty nice. Next is Poisoner. Again, a +1 to your dexterity. Oh, Mage Slayer also gives you +1 to your dexterity. All of these feats give you +1 to dexterity. So I'll try to not mention it. Poisoner, I mean, it is decently expensive. I'm not gonna lie to you. 50 gold. I think it's 50 gold per like dosage, and you can make PB bonus amount of dosages. Now, the reason why this is really powerful is because if you don't know, Cunning Strikes, which is a feature the new rogue gets, again, check my video. Basically, you can take away 1d6 from your sneak attack, and you can potentially poison an enemy. The DC is equal to your dexterity modifier, which is really nice. And poisoned is a very powerful condition. And the Poisoner feat basically allows you to do that, but it also deals an additional 2d8 poison damage that cannot be resisted on top of that. Plus with a +1, yeah, it is expensive, don't get me wrong, but if you're in a campaign, maybe you have someone with the crafter feat, or like it's not the craft, or it's like the merchant feat. It's a feat that like can bog down, that can cut material components in half. I think it's the crafter feat. Damn, I don't know. Okay. Well, let me see, because this is important. The people gotta know. Okay, I won't dwell on this anymore. But there is a origin feat, or just a feat in general. I think it's an origin feat though, that you can buy material components that are non magical for 20% cheaper. Meaning your 50 will be lower. I think it'll be like not 45. Oh damn it! Why am I bad at math? It'll be like, because it's minus. Oh god, this is so bad. It'll be 48. You'll be spending 48. No, not 38. Oh my god, you'll be spending 38 gold on material on the poison instead of 50. I am too old to be struggling with that. But yeah, overall, Poisoner is just a good feat, and also the DC equals your dexterity. Well, it's whatever stat you increase with Poisoner, because you can also increase your intelligence. So maybe if you're like a Shillelagh based arcane trickster, or no, you don't have to be Shillelagh. You can be you would have to, you'll take Magic Initiate Druid Shillelagh, and then be casting True Strike every turn. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you could do that, but whatever your highest stat is going to be the DC off Poisoner, and also if you really did want to, you could do both Poisoner and Cunning Strike poison. So now they have to make two Constitution saving throws to see if they resist it. So if you really want an enemy to get poisoned, then there you go. Next is Descent. I'm sorry if you can hear like rain in the background. I'm pretty sure you guys can't hear it, but if you can, I'm sorry. If you can't hear it, this video probably won't go up. But yeah, next we have Sentinel. Again, reaction attacks are very powerful, especially since you have Cunning Strikes, and being able to poison someone as a reaction is how may I say it? Very good. And next we have Skill Expert. Now, a reliable talent is now your 7th level feature. Yeah, I know, that's bonkers. So honestly, taking Skill Expert is pretty nice. Also, a +1 to your dexterity or any stat you want, which is pretty nice, is very beneficial. So That's why I have skill expert right there. Next, we have crossbow expert. Crossbow expert. I mean, if you want to be a ranged rogue that uses the light nick abuse, if that abuses all of that, then crossbow expert's probably your choice. Now, we're 10 minutes in. I still haven't covered any of the subclasses. This is gonna be a long one, folks. Now we have the backgrounds, and obviously criminal. Criminal is the best background for rogues because you can increase your intelligence, your constitution, and or your dexterity, and pick up the alert feat. Now, the alert feat is one of the best ones, and also sleight of hand and stuff proficiencies, which I mean, your rogue, you'll probably want them, so not having to pick them is massive. Alert is really good. I mean, some people say, I don't know if I'm some people, that alert is the best feat in the game, and I definitely do see where they may or may not be coming from. First of all, proficiency in initiative is pretty nice, especially if you're assassin rogue. Also, if you're an arcane trickster, you'll be able to swap the initiative between you and your familiar, meaning that your familiar can grant you advantage, and you can go in, stabby, get sneak attack, and succeed. So overall, I do think criminal's probably your best option because alert is just that good. But I think other options may be tough for a more melee. Maybe if you're like a defensive duelist, sentinel based, rogue, or maybe if you're a crossbow expert, one crossbow in one hand, like a rapier in the other, whatever, however you want to do it. You definitely can do that. But overall, I do think alert probably is just your best choice. Tough is there, but Now, for species, honestly, I think every species except maybe for human might be a decent choice. I mean, Asimar to get flight is really nice. I have played in Asimarian Rogue before, and they also took like Paladin levels near the end, like Paladin the Warlock level near the end as well. It was a fun character, man. It's like, so yeah, I do definitely think that picking up the Asimar rogues, I mean, they work. They're very nice. I do very much like them. Also, the damage increase that comes from being an Asimar is pretty solid. I guess Orc. I mean, Orc can be nice. Some extra survivability. Dwarf can be nice for again extra survivability. Honestly, I think humans probably gonna be your worst choice because you don't really need another origin feat with the rogue. If I'm being honest, I mean, oh, that's some loud thunder. I think you guys may be able to hear that. Wow, it's thundering. I mean, I guess maybe if you want to do like a Shillelagh True Strike Arcane Trickster build, then by all means, be my friends. I guess be like that's. I mean, if you want to, but overall, I think criminal probably. I think alert is just generally your best choice. Another fun one, Dragonmart. A drag. I mean, if your DM allows you to sneak attack on your fire breath, then you're cooking with that one. But yeah, honestly, I think for species, kind of pick your favorite. Humans probably aren't the best option. Neither is tieflings. I'm so sorry, tiefling enjoyers. Just tieflings are pretty underpowered. Usually I'd say I'll take Zariel tiefling, but they're not in the book. Yeah. Now let's finally get into the subclasses. Around 13 minutes in, we're finally getting to subclasses. So yeah, let's just get right into it. The first one is what many people consider the strongest rogue subclass. I don't know if it was the strong. I mean, it definitely is powerful. Don't get me wrong. But now let's see if it still is the best. The Arcane Trickster. Now we all know the Arcane Trickster. A lot of people use the Arcane Trickster. You know what I mean? It's the rogue with spell casting. I think I've done a build where I was a wizard Arcane Trickster. I think I've done a build like that. I don't know if I have, but I think I have. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So now we can learn 3 cantrips of our choice, except one of them has to be Mage Hand. So we can only learn 2 if we're being honest here. And yeah, anytime we gain a rogue level, we can swap out one of our spells, which is pretty cool. We are no longer restricted to any school of magic, which is also very cool. And now Mage Hand Leisure Domain is basically the same, except now we can summon our Mage Hand with a bonus action, which is just moi. I love it. So good. Having to waste your whole action to summon your Mage Hand was just so much, and most of the times really wasn't that good, if we're being honest. So yeah, now our ninth level feature, Magical Ambush, is pretty much the same. It's just now if you succeed on a stealth check, you basically you will now gain the invisible condition. Invisible is not a condition, and I'm a little on that. So now you technically have to be invisible. Meaning, I guess if you cast invisibility on yourself, you can you can get magical ambush. Which I mean, hold person's a good spell. Don't get me wrong, but like wasting two second level spells just to land a hold person, which probably ain't gonna. I don't know. I think you're kind of stretching it. I'm not gonna hold you. And now your versatile trickster feature is very much different because back then it basically was just steady aim, but now since steady aim is of well, because back then steady aim didn't exist, so now since steady aim does exist, it basically now says when you use the cunning strike option, the trip cunning strike option, and to knock an enemy prone. Thanks to your mage hand, which is pretty cool, we can knock a second one prone if they're within 5 feet of the mage hand. I mean, that's pretty damn nice. I mean, now you need to use up your bonus action. Well, unless you have to summon it that turn, then you could. But I mean, now you need to use your bonus action to gain advantage is pretty nice. I mean, this does open up for you to get your mage hand, trip an enemy, and then I could see it working, but if we're being honest here, out of all the cunning strikes, Trip is one of the worser ones. I mean, Poison is just so good. At level 11, we can now use two cunning strikes at once, but wasting 2d6. I mean, I don't know. At level 14, which we do gain the feature at level 13, so I guess these don't matter. But Daze, Knockout, and Obscure are generally so powerful. Knockout being one of the best ones in the game. So that honestly, I'm kind of like a little iffy about it. Yeah, I think honestly, because Trip is never gonna be like the best one, because Poison is just so like I feel like if you're doing Trip, I feel like Trip and Poison are from almost like two different parties. If you're using Trip, you probably have a party. No, because advantage it doesn't even matter that much with martial characters because Great Weapon Master no longer exists. Like gaining advantage mattered so much to martial parties because most of them, or if not all of them, had a Great Weapon Master and were abusing it. Now, since Great Weapon Master is no longer in the spectrum or is now different, the 2024 Great Weapon Master is no longer there, then advantage doesn't matter that much. And if we're being honest, and if you're a melee based rogue using Trip, I mean, still, just using poison, or even, like, honestly, I think using poison and withdraw probably is a better option for a melee based rogue. Just being able to poison an enemy, or just use your poisoner's kit, take a dose of poison, shank your enemy, and then just use withdraw to take a d6 away and get away, probably is a better choice because you're most likely going to be getting sneak attack either ways, because then you could be stealthing up to them and then go, yeah, or your allies right next to them, freaking beating them up, and then you can go, who, or maybe you're fighting one big ally. I just don't think this feature is that good, if I'm being honest. It's just, Trip is the worst cunning strike option. So, and like all the other cunning strikes are so damn nice and have so much utility that I think this Trip one might not be the best. I don't know. It's, I get, Because gaining advantage is nice. Don't get me wrong, advantage is nice. But if we're being honest here, I think most parties would probably because they have to do a saving throw or be tripped, right? It's a saving throw for trip. Yeah, on a failed deck save. Which I mean, I feel like most parties would much rather you be able to poison the enemy than to trip them. If I think in a more general sense, I think a lot more enemies would like the enemy to be basically have disadvantage on all attack rolls rather than they fall prone under. But I feel like most parties would want the enemy basically being useless than them falling on the floor and saying ouchie. I get that's just that may be me. If you do disagree, make sure to nicely leave it down below. At level 17, we get Spell Thief. Only change here, it is now in an int saving throw. So if any, I guess any clerics or sorcerers, they're cooked. And now that's it for the Arcane Trickster. What are my thoughts and opinions on it? It's probably the best subclass purely because of Conjure Minor Elemental. Conjure Minor Elemental is disgustingly broken, I think is a nice way to put it. Yeah, Conjure Minor Elemental is just so powerful. I mean, yeah, like I know it's a cop out, but it's just Conjure Minor Elemental is the most disgustingly broken spell in existence. And hey, most tables probably are gonna ban it. You saw. If you do find yourself in one of those tables that does ban Conjure Minor Elementals, and but overall, I do think spell casting is so nice. But again, stuff like Shield or Find Familiar, I mean, you know what? Someone's freaking going 380 on the gas behind me. Sorry. And let's pull up the wizard spell list and let's see what spells our arcane tricksters could use and see if a feat can replace them. Absorb elements, very good, but they do gain evasion, so that's I don't know any more utility spells here. Now the one I do want to notice is Silvery Barbs. Now this does work for saving throws, but again, I mean, with the poison condition, you can make your enemy have disadvantage on their attack. So, if an enemy's poisoned, their natural 20, there's gonna be no natural 20s granted. We don't. Oh, sorry. We don't know if enemies are gonna be immune to poison, like they are in the original monster manual. We honestly don't know. So silvery barbs might still be nice, but if we're being honest here, Tasha's can be nice, but Tasha's and laughter can be pretty strong. I won't lie to you. What other spells can? Okay, one they can definitely get that is very powerful would be not Fine Form, is it, bro? Holy. Is Shadow Blade. Shadow Blade, again, is a very good spell. It is a light weapon as well. It has the finesse and light properties. So yeah, I think Shadow Blade might and finesse and light. Meaning you can do extra attack. You can do the whole like Nick. Okay, that may just be enough. Animate that. Oh, you get all the summoning spells, don't you here? You do. Oh, you get the... Because with the summoning spells, if you don't know, you can just summon everyone and just make it where now it's very easy for you to just have sneak attack consistently. Counterspell can... Counterspell is counterspell. Level 14 of me at Conjure Minor Elemental is just so... It's just so disgustingly powerful. Like, what are we joking here? Conjure Minor Elemental is broken as all balls. Yeah, here's the thing. I genuinely don't know. Because now, if you don't know, in the player's handbook, Green Flame Blade and Booming Blade aren't there. So I know for some tables, they won't be able to use them. But of course, if you are able to use Green Flame Blade or Booming Blade, then, they're good. So I do think the Rogue is still powerful. Do not get me wrong. But depending on how powerful these other subclasses are, I do definitely think the Arcane Trickster may have a run for its money. Now, let's go to the Rogue subclass. I feel like most people gravitated to because they thought it would be broken. Is now the Assassin Rogue. So, what does the Assassin Rogue do? Oh, damn, I lost track. Alright, so the Assassin Rogue, honestly, I've always had mixed feelings on the Assassin Rogue, if I'm being honest with you. It's a subclass. I don't know if I don't think I've ever played an Assassin Rogue. I think anytime I want to play a Rogue, it was always either Arcane Trickster or Swashbuckler. Because, man, I love the Swashbuckler. I hate the fact we lost Swashbuckler. I do love the Side Knife as well, but I kind of wish we would have gotten a revised Swashbuckler rather than the Side Knife we got. Because the Side Knife we got is low-key, didn't get much changes of value that I haven't already homebrewed myself, so, whatever. So now, the main assassin feature has gotten massive changes. You no longer can automatically crit on a surprised enemy. Instead, if you act before someone does on initiative, you can now add your rogue level to sneak attack damage. Now, I know for some people, they may hate that, but honestly, I'm okay with it. Like in reality, I do genuinely think I am just okay with it. Because let's be real here. When was the time you're really getting like surprised on an enemy? Because if we're being honest here, not many people were getting surprised so consistently that it made the feature broken. Maybe every like I think I've made or played so I think I've seen so many encounters and maybe like 5% of them that I've seen or played where have opportunities to get sneak attack. Like it's so rare to get sneak attack. And usually like getting sneak attack is usually easier on by the DM because you can just like make it easier to get sneak attack. Like where the monsters you control. But for players it's usually so hard and the DM kinda has to like a balance an encounter based off of oh can they get a surprise round? I don't mean sneak attack, I mean surprise round. Honestly, I'm kind of happy with it. I know some people really do hate it, but if we're being honest here, it's probably for the best. I mean, yeah, I think that's all I'll talk about it for now. And those are kind of my thoughts. I know that it may be very controversial for some people. I know some people are throwing themselves out of the window or taking away their pre-orders of the book. You know, well, again, honestly, I think it's for the best. And now, your ninth level feature is very much better. Now, if you spend 1 hour studying someone, you can now mimic how they speak and their handwriting. And also, if you use the study aim feature, you are allowed to move. Your movement speed does not get reduced. Oh my gosh, I am. Wow, clap it up, folks. This is really cool. This is really amazing. Steady aim. Now as an assassin, you truly can't play that assassin feeling where, like, now you can basically get, like, set yourself up in your surprise round, I guess, and really just, like, take out your shots with advantage and then just run away. Oh, sorry. I really like this. I really like this next level feature. I feel it does a really good job at balancing power and flavor. So yeah, overall, I think the ninth level feature is super solid, and also the old ninth level feature was just straight dog water. It was garbage. Now the 13th level feature is even better in Venom weapons. When you use the Cunning Strike option to poison an enemy, you lose not 1d6, but you now do an additional 2d6 poison damage that ignores poison's resistance. Again, such a massive buff. Because I already thought that your Cunning Strike poison was the best Cunning Strike you could do, except for Knockout. Because Knockout is just broken as hell. Now, Cunning Strike poison is super damn powerful, and now you're telling me if I use it, I deal even more damage? Sign me up. It's only a D6 extra damage. In the long run at least. But if you really look at it, you're getting that plus the poison condition for free. Because you probably already were poisoning every enemy completely for free. Like you're already losing out on one sneak attack, 1d6 of damage for free because poison is so powerful. Now you're able to poison an enemy and do more damage on top. Yeah, the 13th level feature is so nice. And also you get improved Cunning Strike by then, meaning you could poison and trip an enemy. So if you want to, you could poison an enemy and then trip them or withdraw or whatever you want to do, and your sneak attack isn't going to feel the hit to damage. You're just going to be doing the same amount of sneak attack, which honestly is so damn powerful, and I really like it. I know some people are like, oh, they should have given higher scaling. But if we're being honest here, yeah, they could have made 2d8 or 46, whatever. They could have made it higher. But honestly, I like the feature, and I think it's pretty good. And now we have the Assassin's biggest feature, which is Death Strike. It basically doubles our damage on round 1 against anyone hit with sneak attack if they fail a Constitution save. I mean, yeah. So yeah, this technically can work against two enemies if we can what's it called? The do a reaction attack. You know what? Honestly, I like it. I like that fact that now it's almost like your third level feature is now your 17th level feature, except it's now just better. Which, honestly, at the end of the day, yeah, because it is, yeah, it's just yeah, it just doubles your damage. So yeah, because vulnerability is actually better than critting. So it basically is an enemy vulnerability if they fail a Constitution save. Oh, one thing I've noticed is that this rogue burns through legendary resistances like crazy. Every attack they're making, or every sneak attack they're making, is forcing an enemy to do a Constitution saving throw. And if you have the Poisoner fee and are just stacking up all of those ticks of poison, you're either debilitating an enemy nearly permanently, or they're not going to have many legendary resistances when the mages start slinging banishment, hold person, hold monster, feeble mind, whatever. Like, so yeah, overall, I do think the 17th level feature. If Constitution saves are still as high as they always been, then that does really suck. But if we're being honest, I mean, okay, so I think now I'm just do my general thoughts about the assassin. I think it's really solid. I think that the third level feature mainly got a buff. I think on average you'll be doing way more damage per like in a character's history with this new feature rather than the old feature. I genuinely think that most likely you'll probably be getting more damage, which again is always just good because I think it's a buff. Your ninth level feature is amazing. Your 13th level feature is amazing. And finally, your 17th level feature, again, is amazing. I honestly think the Assassin Rogue went 4 for 4 here with 4 amazing features when they used to go 0.5 for 4. So honestly, I think they did pretty damn good. Now, yeah, now it seems like your enemies aren't gonna have many legendary resistances, or they're gonna have to deal with poison damage every single damn turn. I really do like this. I like the new Assassin Rogue. I think it's just really powerful now. Yeah, it's just, oh, it's nice. All right, now we have the Cyan Knife, which, oh damn, ah man, I'm a little sorry. Look, okay. The Science Knife was one of my favorite subclasses of the Rogue, and I'm a little salty because they didn't get an ability. They didn't get the buff I wanted. Now, to go over it, to recharge your third level feature, you could basically recharge a psionic energy dice. I think if you're taking a short rest and use the bonus action, or I think it was something like that. Now it no longer costs a bonus action, which I think is literally the same. Oh, it was once per short rest. You could regain a psionic energy dice if you wasted a bonus action. Now it no longer no longer cost a bonus action. I'm dribbling over my words. Aside from that, the sailing and size increase is the same. Your whisper abilities is unchanged. Oh well, now you don't have to know a common language, so that's pretty nice. But now your psionic blades have received a decent buff. Now, if you and now they are summoned for as long as the attack action, meaning you can do extra attack with them. And also on an opportunity attack, you can now conjure your psionic blades and get to stabbing. But the biggest problem that I see is that they don't gain access to the Nick mastery property, and we do not get access to the Nick mastery property. I said it right. And are not considered light weapons. That's just that's so annoying. That is so annoying. It would have been so easy to just make it a light weapon. It's just it sucks now because now like you're kind of forced to give up your bonus action for a D4 when you can make 2 attacks with a D6 by just using your action. And you know what? On my table, I will completely just veto Wizards of the Coast because they don't know what they're doing apparently, and make it that the Seki Blades are now considered light weapons, or just give them the Nick property. They already gained the Vex property, which yes, the Vex property is nice, but if we're being honest, it's just this is a feature that really is just nerfing the rogue, and I really hate the fact that they couldn't realize how much of a nerf to the rogue this was and still inputted it. This is one of those subclass features that sacrifices power for flavor, and I simply hate that and will not let that stand. So in my tables, and hopefully in every table, these Psychic Knights are now have the light property or can access the Nick weapon mastery. Every melee based rogue or dagger based rogue is going to be wielding two normal ones with the Nick property. I don't care, or be using two crossbows or whatever. They'll be using the Nick property and abusing it. So on my tables, I am simply just gonna allow it because I'm not gonna make one of my players suffer just because they want a little more flavor. No, that's that's completely dumb. So aside from that, however, they do get a bonus to their range. So now, and their thrown range is now much longer, 60-foot normal range and 120 long range. I mean, yeah, that's pretty damn nice if I'm being honest. Your 9th level feature is basically still the same. I mean, still a nice feature. 13th level feature is, again, still the same. And your 17th level feature is, again, still the same. So yeah, that's kind of it. I personally hate that change they did. It's just, it's so annoying. I'm sorry, that's just so annoying. Why doesn't it, whatever. So I think at my table, how I'm gonna rule it, at least now, your DM probably should rule it too, where you can using your first sign or using like a normal weapon, stab with a normal weapon, use your first psionic dagger that deals a d6, stab with that, then using your bonus action if you want to, stab with the last one. Meaning, as a rogue, you will now be gaining 3 attacks completely for free. I know this may seem powerful, but come on, Arcane Tricksters are using Shadow Blade. Like, grow up, bro. Arcane Tricksters are using Shadow Blade and just cutting through enemies, and assassins are poisoning creatures every single round. It seems like we can let the Soul Knife be a tad bit powerful. Like, come on, let's not lose the plot over here over nothing. And now we have probably the most roguish subclass in existence, the Thief. Now, your 3rd level feature Fast Hands is basically unchanged. They've now just clarified the language about the how to use magic items, blah blah blah, all of that. Now, your 2nd story work feature now basically just gives you a climb speed. So, that's cool. Oh, I do want to mention this. With your 3rd level feature, you can now use a magic item, or you can now use the magic action as a bonus action. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I mean, I guess if you have like beads of firebar or something like that, you can just throw it at them. Or there's little beads that create like force fields when you throw them. If you have those, you can use it. Yeah, I do definitely. Or a scroll. Yeah, technically you could use a scroll, right? Yeah. So I guess yeah. I mean, I do think there are a bunch of cool options you probably could use the new Thief for. So oh, in campaigns I don't really use magic items, and I feel bad for you because playing a Thief is just, playing a Thief would be, yeah, pretty bad. Yeah, okay. Well, the 2nd story work, it also allows you to use your dexterity bonus for your jumping modifier. That's pretty cool. On 9th level, Supreme Sneak is way better. Now it gives us a new use for our cunning strike stealth attack. This says if we have to hide, oh my, I am just stumbling on my words today. If we take the hide action, or technically get the invisible condition, when we attack with it, we will not. If we spend a d6, we will not be taken out of we will not lose the invisible condition. I know that was an absolute word sandwich, so let me just rephrase that. Basically, when we attack someone, with our sneak attack, and we can spend a d6 like a cunning strike option and not lose the invisible condition. That's pretty damn powerful. Um, yeah, that's pretty damn nice. I mean, losing a D6 does suck. You are ninth level, so you won't be able to use the poisoned condition anymore. Which, I mean, yeah, I kind of sucks because the poison condition is just so powerful. I'm trying to think. It's definitely a feature. I don't know if I'm really. I don't know if I'm really like. Because if you are using like the Nick property, I mean, you can only do that once, so you would have to do just one attack. I don't know. I'm a little f about it. I don't really know. Well, your 13th level feature, however, is pretty damn nice. It basically states that we're now able to attune to up to 4 magic items, which only one class, that is the Artificer, could previously do that. So in general, I think that's pretty damn good. And also, when you use a magic item that has charges with our bonus action, if we roll a d6 and if it lands on a 6, we do not expend a charge. I mean, oh my, yo, this would be broken with like a crown of what's it called? With like a crown of wish or the blade or like the sword that can cast wish. And you could heroic inspiration that. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, there might be some broken magic item combos now. If you can get, I mean, if you play a human, you can get reliable for. Hold on, folks. We might be cooking with gas here. We're 40 minutes into this video. If you're still here, make sure to like, because you definitely enjoyed the video, or are just a supreme hate watcher, which at this point I gotta admire. Uh, yeah, that's good. Okay, that may be broken with some magic items. I'm not gonna lie to you. And also, we can now cast scrolls. We can now use scrolls. We use our spellcast. We use our intelligence for our spellcasting ability modifier. Oh, and also it had well, okay. There is a small little I guess quotation to this. It has to be a cantrip or first level spell. We do it with no problem. But if we want to use a higher one, we must succeed on an Arcana check first to use it. So I'm pretty sure the DC is 10 plus the spell's level. So basically, the check if you want to like counterspell something. But you do have reliable talent. So if you have proficiency and expertise in Arcana, then I think you'll be fine. Actually, we are getting near the end of the video, but I think a little later I'll do it. So now your 17th level feature, Thief's Reflexes, basically unchanged. Still doing what it did previously. All right, now since it's all done, this is a very long video. Near the end, I've kind of my mind got a little scrambled. Sorry, but yeah, honestly, final thoughts about the Rogue. It's solid. It's definitely a subclass. Oh my, it's definitely make sure to drink water. It's definitely a class. I do think a lot of the hate it gets is a little bit unnecessary. But overall, honestly, I think it's solid. I can't hate on it very much. I think, if you liked playing Rogue, or if you liked playing single class rogues, then playing a single class rogue will never feel better. So yeah, overall, and also I do really like the kind of like choices you now have. Where if you want to, you could very easily take fighter levels to gain so much more damage, or monk levels to again gain so much more damage. But if you want to just increase your utility or get those higher level subclass features that are now really nice, then stick with Rogue. Honestly, I do definitely like it. So yeah, now I just want to calculate the Arcana check on your 13th level feature as a Thief Rogue to see. So assuming, we're 13th level here, so we would get 4 ASIs. So if you took 3, okay, how are we gonna rule this? Because yeah, there is a bunch of feats you would want to take as a rogue. Okay. Actually, let's go. So assuming you took Defensive Duelist, Mage Slayer, and I guess Poisoner. That'll be until 10th level. So then at 12th level, you'll be able to get a +2 to your intelligence, or maybe a +1 to take Fate Touched. So you know what? We'll assume you just have a +3 to Arcana checks. Now, if you're proficient in it at level 13, I think at level 13 is when you gain that 5 proficiency bonus. Is it? Hold on. Wait, let me see. Let me check. Let me check the earth. Advisor, level 13th, yeah, you get that 5th level. That proficiency bonus increases to 5. So assuming you're proficient in expertise in Arcana, which I mean you probably should be if you're playing a thief, that's a +10. Oh, okay. Yeah. +10. So with reliable talent, meaning you cannot roll lower than a 23 on any Arcana check you're making. Meaning, if you find a scroll of wish, you can use it freely as a thief rogue. Let's assume you have proficiency in Arcana. That makes your bare minimum a 28, which I mean is still, and that's with a 3, and that's with a 3 modifier too. And if you have a 4, then I think honestly, with reliable talent and in theory, you'll be able to get your intelligence to a 17. I mean, yeah, if you take expertise in it, which I mean, it's very easy to take expertise in it. I mean, you could take skill expert and pick up a +1 to your intelligence or whatever you want to do it. I do definitely think that you're most likely will be casting spell scrolls with thief with no problem at all. Which I mean, that's pretty nice. So yeah, I do definitely think that's the end of today's video. I know I did ramble a little at the end, but I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, OT19 signing out. Peace.